Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live studio show here on MXGP TV. Round 14 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. Now we are at the MXGP of Belgium at the notoriously deep sandy circuit of Lommel. On our studio show today, we have Romain Febvre. He's already in place. We've got Adam Sterry coming up and Jason Thomas from Fly Racing. So before we meet any of those guys, though, Lisa Leyland, here we are back at the beach, but I don't see too much sunbathing going on.
Where's the sun? I thought it was going to be sunny today. It was like 40-something degrees a week ago, wasn't it?
It was. It's crazy how the weather has turned.
It is.
20 degrees, freezing.
But it's a track so familiar, isn't it? So it's always good to be here. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look, let's meet our first guest, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MXGP, Romain Febvre. He was on the studio show earlier this year, but we got him on now because, Romain, a lot has changed since the last time you came on the studio show. You were injured then, now you're not. And obviously Lockett last week was a fantastic weekend for you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here again. And like you said, last weekend was really good for me and the team. So first victory of the year after my injury. So hopefully it's not the last one.
How much did that win mean to you? Because obviously 3 years and 2 months almost. In fact, it'll be 3 years and 2 months this weekend. That's a long time between drinks.
Yes, yeah.
For you, anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't count that was so long because when I won, we was at the podium and then everyone say like, oh, it has been like so long and 3 years. And I was like, 3 years? Yeah, I thought it was 2 or something. But anyway, definitely it's good to be back. Also, like I said, for the team, because it has been really long with injury and so. Yeah, I was strong last weekend, yeah, for the confidence also it helped me a lot, and now we have a good bike also to start and to ride on the track. So hopefully I can be better every weekend with my confidence and bike.
I mean, just watching the clip now, I mean, you were just to go from what, 4th to 1st in 6 laps in that second race. I mean, was just astonishing.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was the fastest all weekend. Every time, yeah, I had let's say 1 second gap between the others. So for sure, with that big gap, I could took different line and then see where I was faster when I was slower, and then change my lines and make it happen to my mate. So. For sure, it's good to be like this. It's not every weekend like that, so it's why I need to be consistent, learn from my mistakes, and we'll be good.
Well, after the podium, when I interviewed you, you said you had a message for your stepmom.
Yes.
You can clean the garage now. What did you mean by that?
So actually, Friday before Lockett, we had a storm. I don't know how you call it in English. We had a storm, big storm in Belgium, and then our house get like smashed by the storm.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So everything went off, and then in my garage, so it's under the house. And then we have some pump who take the water out when it's raining, but without electricity wasn't working, so all the garage was full of water. And then also in the house, the wash machine, the TV, everything was broken because of the storm. So she was there. She was the only one there, and then trying to clean as much as she can the garage. And then I say, yeah, anyway, I'm coming back Monday, so I will clean myself. And then she say, yeah, if you win the GP, then I clean for you.
Brilliant.
So I was like,
brilliant.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's
perfect,
fantastic.
Thank you.
Because we were like, what did he mean by that?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. You could not understand. Yeah.
Well, it seems like everything is coming together for you at the moment. In Palembang, we've just got a clip here. You got your first race win since 2017. Was that also a good feeling for you? Did that mean a lot to you as well, winning that?
Yeah, sure. Victory, it's a victory. Also, I think I won 4 or 3 qualifying race, and it's still really good feeling. But motos, when the points gone, then it's even better. So I was happy. It was one of the most difficult GP also because of the heat. Happy to did it, and then for sure it gives confidence to then I bring everything in Lockett, and then I win my first GP of the year.
Did you ever think during those last 3 years, let's say between the last Grand Prix win and last week, did you ever think, man, it might never happen again, because of the injuries, because of the bad luck, or did you still believe it was possible?
I still believe because for sure like I say, it's been a long time, but not. I didn't count it, so I didn't know that it was like 3 years, and then I didn't question myself. Oh, you think I will? I feel that it's possible. Like I say, last winter I did a really good progress on my speed, which, like the years before, I didn't get the really speed on one lap. So I was never like going for the pole position, or even on the qualifying race I was not winning. So for sure, when you go 30 minutes motos and you are not fast enough on one lap, then you know it's almost impossible to win. So this year I get the speed, so I got the speed, so I feel that this year it should happen somewhere. And for sure, after the injury came in Argentina, but yeah, I never think it will never be possible to win again. No, I didn't question so much myself like this.
Well, what meant more to you, winning your first race for the first time in 2 years, or winning your first GP for the first time in 3 years?
Yeah, after 3 years, it's a good feeling for sure. Like you say, I had injury, and then we had like few times problem with the bike, and then sometimes the luck it's not on your side and everything, and it goes fast. Also, like in Palembang, I was winning. I was second overall, and then the other I was also really fast. I could maybe play for the win also, and then the first motor I crashed. I bent my handlebar and then could not finish the race. So you know that the GP it's over already. So yeah, it's hard feeling, hard feeling, hard also result. But yeah, I never. I always think it's possible to win. Good.
Okay, well, we have a question for you on social media. This one's from Deb Warren, 26. Congratulations on finally winning an overall, she says. It must have been an amazing feeling. What is your routine when you are on the start gate? It looks like a Qigong kind of. Does it help you to focus? That's like a Chinese breathing exercise that you do. So what is that?
Yeah, it's just to be relaxed as much as I can, because for sure, like when you are behind the gate or even before the sighting, like if everyone is standing by, and then for sure you can lose your concentration. So like on the gate, I can see from the other, I'm really like quiet, and also my heart rate and everything are really low compared to the other, because sometimes I see everyone is like wearing the watch, you know, with the heart rate, the beat. Yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, you know, watching the watch, and I'm like, whoa, they are really high compared to me. So I was like, yeah, I'm okay, you know. Yeah, like sometimes some are like 140, 130 behind the gate. Yeah. I'm like, wow. Even on running, I'm not like this, you know. So I'm like really, calm. Really calm. And then like this method, it's also to take big breath before the start, and to be as much as I can, like to be relaxed as much as I can. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, nice little insight there. Yeah. Well, look, Roman, we are out of time. I know you've got busy things. You've got a photo shoot to get to, but thanks for joining us. All the best for this weekend and the rest of the season. Yep. Roman Febvre, everybody. Right, Adam Sterry is waiting to come into the studio area. So before we meet him, let's check out some of the highlights from last week. MX2 Race 2 from Lockett.
Once again, Jorge Prado, fastest to react. Made the short trip down the start straight. And once again, he was first over the Foxhole shot line. 17 black plates now, the Spaniard has in 2019. Again, his teammate, after picking himself up off the floor in race 1, was there in second place ahead of Jacobi, Valandren, Adam Sterry and Thomas Olsen. But after 7 laps, Vial couldn't hold on any longer. Jacobi charged his way up the inside, as Adam Sterry went after Valandren. Valandren, though, sensed the danger from behind, went after Vial, moved into third place briefly, as Adam Sterry was starting to grow in confidence in 5th place. He then caught the 28 of Vial, made a nice, firm but fair move to push the Frenchman wide as he took over 4th place. Olsen was also lining up a move past the number 28. His opportunity came, and he took it with both hands just after the halfway point of the race. Bellandren was looking solid, but then he fell from 3rd. That allowed Sterry and Olsen to go by. 2 wildcards were in there, banging bars, Kevin Horgmo and René Hoffer. Horgmo eventually came home 10th. Hoffer was 11th. Bellandren found his way back past the Frenchman, Tom Vial. And Jago Geerts also found his way back past the Frenchman for a move that finally found the Belgian in 6th. Jacoby, the lead FNH Kawasaki rider, but for how much longer? Because his teammate, Adam Sterry, was closing in, and closing in fast. The Welshman, though, was clearly fastest and capitalized on a couple of mistakes from the German. And Sterry powered his way around the outside from 3rd into 2nd. He was already in a career best position of 3rd. He went one better. Jorge Prado up front, though, in control once again, and went on to take win number 22. Sterry came home with a career best 2nd ahead of his teammate Jacoby. Olsen was 4th, Bellandren 5th. The overall, another 1-1 for Jorge Prado. Win number 27 now for the Spaniard. Jacoby was 2nd. Olsen was 3rd. So Olsen back on the podium this weekend with a 3rd and a 4th. Henry Jacoby had reason to celebrate because it was his first podium since round 2, Matsley Basin, where he also finished 2nd. But is it now a question of when, not if, Jorge Prado lifts a 2nd MX2 title? He's 90 points clear of Olsen. Geerts now up to 3rd. Vial loses the position. Jacoby, though, is just 3 points further back in 5th.
Welcome back to our studio show here, live on MXGP TV. It's Saturday, we're at the MXGP of Belgium. Well, Malin, Lisa Leyland, our second guest is in, Adam Sterry from FNH Racing Team. Adam, first of all, how does it feel to be in the top 3 club?
Yeah, good. In my eyes, it's been a long time coming and a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but yeah, good. After last weekend, I feel good and my confidence is more high now, so yeah, I'm happy about that.
Well, your second race couldn't have gone any better, really, could it? I mean, what was going through your mind, though, particularly as you were closing in on Henry for that second place in the last few laps?
I mean, I actually got on the pit board that I might be able to get on the podium if I pass him. So that's what I went for. I'm going to crash or I'm going to pass him. So I went for that, and yeah, as you can see, I'm trying to pass Vial, and that was crucial as I could see Henry was in front, and yeah, I kept it clean there, which was ideal. And yeah, like you said, I seen it on the pit board that I needed to pass him for the podium, and I went for it and ended up making it happen.
But then you were just 1 point shy, obviously. But how were the track conditions? Because off air a moment ago, you were saying this is one of your favourite tracks. So obviously, in your mind, you're already hoping for a good result before you arrived there?
I did one of my first GPs there, so I've always done well there. I've always rode well there, so that's why I always look forward to it. I like the ground. It's really slippy. It's technical. Your bike's always moving around, and that I like. I don't like it when it's too much perfect grip. I prefer it when there's a lot of stuff happening and you have to think. And yeah, that's kind of why I like Lommel as well this weekend. And I'd say them two are my favourite GPs. And it's strange because they are complete opposite ends of the scale.
Well, we just saw you make the pass on Henry there. Were you concerned that you might have got run wide when you went round the outside of your teammate there?
At that moment, I didn't really think about it because I was just going for what I said that was on the pit board. But afterwards, I was thinking, yeah, that could have gone wrong. But luckily, it didn't this time, and yeah, we're talking about the good result, not about what happened on the track.
Yeah.
Now, you actually did have a second place in Mantova earlier on in the year, and that was in qualifying. But how much did that impact, like how much of a result did that have an impact on you? Did it make you feel like actually a top 3 finish in a race is possible now?
Yeah, I've always thought I had good speed. If I get a good start, then I can run the speed of the top guys. And That's what I shown. I shown that in Mantova I almost won the race on the second to last lap. Olsen passed me. I think it was the second to last lap, and yeah, that's the qualifying race, so it doesn't really mean anything. But it's still shown that the speed. And then obviously in Czech Republic, I come from 5th to 2nd, so that was really good. And I'd say my best GP race that I've done so far.
Well, we just saw a clip a moment ago from Latvia where, I mean, last week you were 4th overall in Lockett. You were 5th overall. I think was France. But then, but you actually got a 5th place finish in the race in Latvia. Are you wishing in some ways that the season was just starting now? Because it seems like the second part of the year you're getting a little bit more consistent, better starts. You've had a couple of top 6 finishes in France, a 5th in Latvia. You had a 2nd last week. If the season was starting now, it'd be awesome in some respects, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure it would be, but it didn't happen like that. And yeah, I tried my hardest from the beginning. So yeah, you could say that my results are getting better, my confidence is getting better, and Latvia again could have been a really good weekend, but I had that instant in the first race on the first lap with Bosram where I ended up coming from last. So again, my riding in Latvia was really good, and I feel like most weekends my riding's been good. It's just whether I get through the first few laps and get a good start. And
you're right there, Liz.
Sorry.
that's what I managed to do in Czech Republic for the both races, and we almost ended up on the podium. So hopefully I can do the same this weekend. The start's not as important here because there's so many lines, and you can make a lot of passes compared to a lot of other tracks. But yeah, I just can't wait to get the races started.
Well, it's your last year in MX2. Do you feel perhaps that you're just picking up from what Paul said, that you're just getting started? Perhaps you might have more to prove in the class now, even though you're 6th in the championship?
Yeah, sure. I feel like I have more to give.
Yeah.
My whole MX2, every other year I've had an injury, so that's been tough, and that's difficult when you're trying to come back from an injury. I'm sure, Paul, you understand that. And yeah, then you can't ride properly in the week, and then if you hit your ankle again, you're back to square one. And I spent a whole year out and a whole off-season with an ACL, and just seemed to be one thing after another, kind of like Jed. I get that feeling he's having the same thing now. But yeah, I don't look back on it and look like that. I did my best at the time, and that's what I think. And yeah, unfortunately I need to move up, but I'm excited to go on a 450. My weight and my size and my riding style is better for a 450, so a new challenge, and I'm excited for that.
Are you riding the 450 much at the moment or not?
No, zero. But,
nothing.
Yeah, I feel like I can just adapt to one straight away. I feel like my riding style is perfect for one. So.
All right, cool. And real quick, looking forward to riding here, because another one of your favourite tracks?
Yeah, sure. This is one of my favourite GPs. Last year was tough in the heat, but I don't think it's going to be as hot this weekend. Well, I hope not anyway. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I just want to get 2 good starts, and hopefully we can make that 1, 2, 3 steps better than last week.
Cool. All right, Adam, for now, thank you. But just another quick reminder, by now you know that we've got our MXGP TV offer on, 50% discount, of course. But how about if you don't want to sign up for the whole package? I don't know why you wouldn't, obviously, because it includes everything, EMX, MX2, MXGP, WMX, all European, and the FIA Motocross Nations. But if you want to do it as a week by week, obviously, why not get your friends to sign up for the Belgian GP this weekend here at Lommel? Well, look, that's our offer. That was Adam Sterry. We'll wish him well for the rest of the season, and of course this weekend as well. Maybe get on the podium this weekend, Adam.
Hopefully.
And before we meet Jason Thomas, let's check the highlights from last week, MXGP Race 2 from Lockett. Tommy Searle riding for Monster Energy Kawasaki Racing Team. Found himself tiptoeing around the corner to come out in 5th place. But once again, it was Jeremy Seawer with the foxhole shot for the 2nd time of the day. Geiser was behind him. Paulin 3rd, Febvre 4th. Tonus moved into 5th with that pass on Searle on the opening lap. Searle tried to respond, and the 2 went bar to bar, but it was Tonus who eventually muscled his way past the brick. Febvre was in no mood for hanging around. He quickly dispatched of Paulin. Quickly had his eyes set on Geiser and Seawer. A mistake from Geiser coming out of turn 2. At the end of the opening lap, saw Febvre make his move. And once again, the 2 Yamahas were locked together, wheel to wheel.
And it was Siwa who led once more, just like he did in race 1. Another error from Siwa. Eventually saw his teammate go by on lap 6, but the two Yamahas were putting on a great show for the fans that turned out here in Lockett. That was the bobble. Febvre got side by side, but Siwa responded immediately. Kept his Yamaha just ahead of his teammate. Febvre then put himself in a commanding position, and that was the pass that eventually saw him go past the 91 of Siwa. The top 3 was separated by not a lot, but in the end, Geiser, just like he did in race 1, tried to make a move, but it had to wait a little bit longer. There were no parking attendants around. If there were, Siwa would have got a ticket right there because he was well and truly parked by the Slovenian. Borland circulated in 4th, just like he did in race 1 on the Monster Energy Wilvo Yamaha. And his teammate Tonus was having a much better time in race 2, in 5th. Tommy Searle, though, he crashed from 9th and would not finish the race. Jeremy Van Horbeke on the Honda circulated in 6th, but couldn't do anything about Tonus despite his efforts. But it was still a good performance from the Honda SR Motor Blues rider. Jonas and Koldenhoff were just behind them. Koldenhoff on the standing construct eventually came home in 8th behind the Latvian. But it was Roman Febvre who took his 3rd race win of the year, a double moto win, and his first Grand Prix victory since Saint-Jean d'Angely 2016, June the 5th. Almost 3 years and 2 months. Geiser 2nd overall, Siwa 3rd, and in championship, Geiser now 177 points off Siwa, Borland 26 further back, but Tonus just 6 behind his teammate. The podium this weekend in Lockett, 3rd overall Jeremy Siwa, 2nd overall Tim Geiser, Roman Febvre on the top step once again. What a journey he's had to get back there as well. Geiser, though, well and truly on course for title number 3.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our final part of our live studio show here on MXGP TV with myself and Lisa Leyland. And our 3rd guest is in place, Jason Thomas from Fly Racing. Good to see you, Jason, all the way from the USA. I know you just got in yesterday, so is this a flying visit? Pardon the pun.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a long year for me already. All the Supercross races, been to some U.S. motocross races, and now season's opened up a little bit for me so I can go see the world and visit MXGP.
And obviously, I know you are an avid follower of MXGP. We see you at most motocross nations as well. So racing-wise, have you enjoyed what's been happening so far this year?
Yeah, of course, the injuries have been a bit disappointing, right? But it's opened up some opportunities at the sharp end. And for a lot of the U.S. motocross fans, we're getting to see new faces. So that's been probably the most enjoyable part.
Cool.
Well, let's start with MXGP. What has surprised you the most this year?
Well, you know, with Tony and Jeffrey out, that's presented an opportunity for guys to step up. The Yamaha guys have really seemed to take advantage of that. You know, they're top 3 out of 4 in points right now, which is a resurgence really for Yamaha. So that's been cool to see. Jeremy Siwa maybe leading that charge, unexpected, you know, podiums week after week. So.
Yeah, I mean, second the last 3 rounds. Roman Febvre obviously getting the win last week. We've also got, you know, Arno Tonus and Gauthier Paulin. Yeah. You know, they've been on the box. There's Yamaha are spending a lot of money at the moment in bonus.
Right. To be top 3 out of 4 in points says a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great to see some parity at the front.
And what about Tim Geiser? He's on the verge of his 3rd title at the moment. Are you impressed with how he's turned things around this year?
Yeah, you know, I felt at the beginning of the year that Tony really had him on the limit. And I think Trentino was a big turning point for him. He was able to finally win, you know, go 1-1 against Tony. And he's had some horrific crashes this season, always been able to get up. And then once Tony left the series, I felt like he was able to win maybe and manage the series a little bit. He didn't have to put it on the limit there. So I'm interested to see now that Febvre's found his form again, can Tim step back up, and how will that, you know, go down the stretch?
Yeah, and obviously he's on the verge of a title there as well. So, you know, it's like he doesn't have to go and chase the points anymore. I mean, he could win it this weekend as long as he leaves 200 points clear of Jeremy Siwa. That would take something pretty catastrophic for that to happen. But, I mean, realistically, we're looking at Imola. But in terms of Tim Geiser, the interesting thing there was the swing of points. You know, Mantova, Tony was 40-odd, 50 points clear or whatever. Right. And then in the space of 3 rounds, he'd lost the championship lead and was, chasing it and then got injured.
Yeah,
so Tim also had Tony on the ropes.
Yeah, it's been the story of 2 seasons, really. But for Tim, I think it's been remarkable to see him have so many crashes, to be resilient enough to get up and still be able to go that fast, because you think those crashes are going to have a lasting effect, but it really hasn't.
No, he's made of rubber.
Yeah, well, and he's found a way to remove those crashes in the last, 9 races. So that's been really impressive. I'm interested to see if he can control his ego, though. If Febvre is, raising the level, can he say, okay, championship is more important, and not go for that race win every time? Which he was able to do that and walk it. But he's going to want to win. He's a racer above all else, and winning is paramount in the sport.
Sure. What about in MX2, Jorge Prado? How good has he been this year?
He's a magician. For his age, his ability to manage a race is unbelievable. He seems to only need to go fast enough just to win. It would be interesting, and it will be next year, to see what he's capable of, because I don't think he's showing us everything he has. I think he's very, very smart for being that young, but I want to see his full potential.
I think we saw an insight into his character in Palembang, the first of the Indonesian rounds, where he slipped out of the lead. Tom Vial passed him. He had about 6 seconds to make up, and in the latter stage of the race, he had 2 choices to make: go for the win or not. We had him on the studio show a week later and said, obviously, it took a lot out of you. If you had that again, would you change it? And he went, no. I race to win. Bang, that's it. And he pushed himself to get those 25 points.
And that will serve him well when he moves into MXGP. He's going to run into competition where he can't manage the race always, and he's going to have to put it on the line every single time. So it's been great to watch. I'm interested. The MXGP series for 2020 is going to be all-time, I think, with Tony coming back, Jeffrey coming back, and the new talent coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, who or what else has caught your eye in MX2?
The previous guest, I thought Adam Sterry last week was unbelievable. The F&H team as a whole has been great. Both he and Jacoby have been just a revelation this year, and I didn't know until a few minutes ago that this was last week and this week were Adam's favorite track, so maybe that will continue this weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, they're a satellite team, effectively. There's no factory support there that we're aware of, so, for them to be turning out those kind of bikes, to be competing with, the KTMs and the like, and the Yamahas, for instance, that's pretty impressive. What about this weekend? What are you expecting? Because obviously it's a sand race, completely different to last week. A lot of the riders and teams are based in and around this area.
Well, it's kind of a local race for a lot of these guys, right? They practice here all the time, so that's always interesting to see who will step up in comfortable confines. I'm hoping to see guys mix it up. I hope it's not a runaway from Prado and Geiser. That's really all I hope for. But to see the Yamaha guys get up there, see where starts have been incredible, so maybe he can make it a fight at the front. I just want to see some battling. That's the most fun for everybody.
Yeah, a lot of people maybe tipping Jago Geerts for a win here. Obviously, he lives 10 minutes away, but Jorge also lives, just in Lommel.
Yeah.
So I think MX2 could be very interesting. We may see a new race winner and maybe a new GP winner.
Hopefully Jago can get back up there. He's just been so inconsistent this year. I really expected him to be a championship contender, and the weekends he's on, he has been. It's just been, up and down and crashes in between.
Yeah, the last few races have been tough for him, but I think this one is probably just a tonic, for him just to find his mojo again and finish off strong, because he has, just found himself back in third. And what about in MXGP? Because normally we come here, Tony, Jeff, we've had their battles the last few years. Yeah. Tim's made mistakes here in the past. Roman's really looking forward to it. Jeremy's looking forward to it. Gauthier, they're all looking forward to racing here this weekend.
Well,
could be one of the closest races and one of the most action-packed.
Yeah, well, we're luckily, well, I say luckily, but 2 of the sand, masters are not here, right, with Tony and Jeffrey. So it should be a battle. We're coming off a track that is, you have to be very patient and walk it last weekend, where this weekend you can be more aggressive. So we'll be interesting to see who switches over their game plan and who responds, because I do feel that the win is up for grabs this weekend. With the championship in mind, I don't think Tim is going to take any big chances, so that means maybe someone could sneak a win out of here.
Yeah. Well, look, Jason Thomas, thanks for joining us. Jason will be in live commentary with me as well all weekend, so we'll be hearing plenty more from Jason. Well, that is it for our studio show this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks at Imola in Italy. But just to remind you, 1:50, we're back live on MXGP TV, 125 race 1, and then from 4 o'clock, we've got European 250, MX2 qualifying, MXGP qualifying. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.